Hello, hello. Good morning, and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines, our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at news from Puerto Vallarta, from our state, Jalisco, from our country, Mexico. We take a look at what's going on in our city and fun activities and everything we can get our hands on so that we can have a great life living here as a community of English-speaking locals. Today is Wednesday, June 23rd. It's supposed to be Walking Wednesday, but guess what? So much for trying to surprise you guys. I was going to surprise you with a nighttime walk. We've never done a nighttime walk, so last night I was all ready to go, and I started my walk, and it started to rain, and I figured, okay, rain and my equipment don't get along very well, so I apologize. We will walk earlier, and we will have a walk either tomorrow or Friday. I need to remember that this time of year it starts raining at night, and it becomes a little bit more complicated to do walks at night. Lisa Thompson says, "Good morning, love watching you, and looking at that weird planter to your right shoulder." Well, it is what it looks like. We haven't done a close-up of the penis plant in a while. Maybe we should do a close-up of the penis plant, but not today because I need to get up, and then you'll see my tummy and the shorts that I'm wearing, which don't match my shirt. But that's not important. What's important here is the news that we're going to share today. We have mostly good news. We have some funny, stinky news, but we have mostly good news, feel-good news for today. So I'm hoping that this will make up for my lack of good planning for Wednesday walk, and we might as well get started with the news. Okay, so this is a little bit concerning. Health Undersecretary Hugo Lopez-Gatell warns us of a possible spike in COVID-19 cases in Mexico, which will be evident by the end of this week, saying that this could change the tendency of the epidemic in our country, or then again, it could not. He added that we've had a long-term trend of decreasing cases, but it also, between us, goes to show that if we stop being mindful of the basic sanitary measures, and we know what they are, we don't need to repeat them for an umpteenth time, we could easily revert to more adverse conditions. So folks, remember, please, it's not over. We still have to do the things that we have to do. Oh, we'll mention them. What the hell? Wear a mask, keep the distance, and stay home if you don't have to be out there. And I will add a little one for those friends of mine and yours and people that are watching that get easily bent out of shape if things don't seem to be the way they're supposed to be. If you're walking into a restaurant, if you're walking into a bar, if you're all of a sudden surrounded by more people than you feel comfortable with, simply turn around and walk away and pick a different party, a different place to be, a different situation that will keep you more at ease, because for better or worse, we can't control what everybody else is doing. It's not our place and it's not our power, or at least that's my little opinion. I'm just concerned that I still hear from friends of mine that get all bent out of shape over situations that would not stress them if they simply would turn around and walk away. I know that that is not a solution for the pandemic, but at least it is a solution for ourselves. Uh, Health authorities in Nayarit have confirmed what we are all assuming will happen, which is that COVID 19 vaccination for folks in their 30s will take place during the month of July. That said, authorities in the state of Nayarit did not offer any precise information related to dates for the vaccination or types of vaccines that will be used for the forthcoming campaign. But this also serves as a reminder that pre registration to receive the vaccine for folks in their 30s is already open. So if you haven't yet, please take the time to pre-register if you are of the age range. As you know, we're going to keep the vaccination information here on our main screen as long as we have as long as we're running the broadcast today, so that you can very easily go and get pre-registered. You will be given you will download a PDF that has your vaccination form, and if you show up with that vaccination form all pre-filled and ready to go, you will be in and out in no time, I am sure. So that's what we have. Moving right along. Ooh, stinky news. Stinky news. Poor Sayulita. We frequently speak about pueblos mágicos, which are these wonderful little towns throughout Mexico that somehow capture the essence of a typical small town, typical Mexican small town. And Sayulita has enjoyed such a label at times, and at times not, due to a chronic problem with her plumbing system. Apparently, it rained enough just 1 hour north of Puerto Vallarta that the plumbing system in Sayulita broke down, sending, well, all kinds of shit, and I do mean that literally, into the ocean, in streams, no less. So if you are planning on swimming in the ocean in the coming days, kindly scratch Sayulita off your list, or you'll be scratching yourself with God knows what. There you go. Not funny, actually. I mean, to be swimming in the ocean, all of a sudden getting that stinky, stenchy. Well, let's not even go there. Let us continue with the weather. And after the weather, we are going to talk about Mama Caguama tacos and beer. At the end of the broadcast yesterday, somebody indicated that they had been shut down. Well, I got in touch with Sean, and he gave me all the tea. So we are going to talk about that. But first, let's take a look at the weather. Let's see. Mammatus clouds look like udders hanging down from other clouds. Yum. Oh dear. Well, there are some words that I'm going to have to look up in the dictionary before I can make any sense of that. But we're going to concern ourselves with the numbers, the science. It is 26 degrees right now. It feels like 30. Humidity is at 100%. It couldn't be any more humider than it is right now. We are at 79 degrees Fahrenheit. And we learned that our weather forecast for this hump day, is that we're going to get possible light rain in the morning. I think we got that. And we're going to have a high temperature of 30, low temperature of 25. Tomorrow, Thursday, it'll rain in the evening and overnight with a high temperature of 31, low temperature of 25. So much for walking at night for you guys. And then on Friday, heavy rain in the morning and overnight. So Friday will be a rainy day. Yay! High temperature of 31, low temperature of 24. And this is what our forecast looks like. And now, as I was mentioning just a second ago, indeed, I got in touch with Sean our friend who owns Mama Caguama Tacos and Beer, one of the taco places that we've reviewed. And I was even going to wear my T-shirt in support today. Anyhow, I got in touch with Sean, and he indeed told me that Mama Caguama Tacos and Beer had been cited and shut down by authorities. This is because somebody had reported them because someone had been smoking on their terrace. Now, I'm not an expert or a restaurant owner, so I told Sean that I thought folks could smoke in outdoor places. And he explained to me that the smoking ordinance, as written, says, excuse me, smokers have to be in a completely separate area. In any case, the issue has been addressed, it has been resolved, and Sean is simply waiting for the authorities to swing by and remove their lovely stickers, at which point we will organize an awesome smoke-free taco-thon in his support. I think we should do that because he's our friend, and we should help him out because, needless to say, if he's closed down, he cannot make any money to pay his employees. Now, let's talk about this for a second. If we are cigarette smokers, and we are talking cigarettes, James, you know that. James says, smoking what? If we're cigarette smokers, folks, let's be patient and be mindful of the fact that, you know, if you're trying to bend the rules and say to the restaurant that you're sitting at, hey, I'm sitting outside, I should be able to smoke here, you know, that may or may not fly with authorities. So if you're a smoker, I'm not going to shame you. You know, people smoke, some people don't. But, you know, be understanding. You know, if you choose to empower yourself and entitle yourself to smoking your cigarette, it has consequences like this, you know. And when somebody decides, and we don't know who did it or who reported, we don't know the specifics, but I can totally see the scenario. You know, if somebody of any nationality, I'm not shaming specific nationalities, if we show up and we say, well, where I come from, I can smoke wherever I want, and I'm sitting outside and I should be able to smoke because I pay my taxes and I'm on vacation, so fuck you. You know, things like that have adverse consequences. Our dear friend has not been able to operate his restaurant because somebody must have done something like this. So kindly be mindful of that. And the other side of it is restaurants. You know, we know that you're trying to cater to business and you're trying to be accommodating. I'm not saying this was Sean's case, but if you bend the rules to try to make sure that your customers will not leave, you know, this could happen to you too. So follow the goddamn rules, owners, and follow the goddamn rules, visitors or locals. There you go. That's my little 2 cents for this situation. And now moving on to more good news, and this is such sweet news. Let me see, where is the photograph? Here it is. The local Vallarta Azteca Folkloric Ballet, yes, those lovely people we saw dancing at La Isla just the other day, they have been invited to the World Folkloric Dance Summit to take place on July 10 in Russia. How exciting is that? It is very exciting. If I can only find my applause. The director of the ensemble, Juan Antonio Salcedo Padilla, stated that the group, which is conformed of 37 musicians, teachers, and dancers from Puerto Vallarta, will prepare a special program featuring dances from the states of Hidalgo, Nayarit, and Jalisco. The event is going to take place in a republic that I'm going to try to pronounce, Bashkortostan, and it will welcome 2,500 dancers and musicians from 60 different countries. How awesome is that, to be a young man or woman that dances folkloric music and to travel to the other end of the world representing Puerto Vallarta and Mexico? What a beautiful bit of news. I was so happy to learn about that. And I have more good news. Meanwhile, here in town, the new Pitillal Cultural Center opens its door for the first time today with a series of guided tours and an open house atmosphere to inform the community of the many classes and activities that will be offered at this new location. And we've talked about this before. We know that they're going to have some sewing workshops, and they're going to have, I'm sure they're going to have painting and music and sculpture and all the kinds of things that they also have at the Rio Cuale Cultural Center. But how wonderful is it that the different cultural centers are trying to decentralize themselves to offer more opportunities to local residents here in Puerto Vallarta. The third such cultural center that is being worked on is at La Lija, which is where we have been getting our vaccines, and this is very exciting. I am very happy for this, and as usual, I'm going to show it to you in the map. But first, give me a second. I'd like to. Ah, that was better than Wednesday 6. Anyhow, here's our trusty little map. Here is the linear park that we walked just last week. Remember, we walked that linear park, which means that Woolworth would be here and the Soriana is just here. And there are two bridges to go into Pitillal, the one that when you're heading north, you go this way. And when you're coming from Pitillal, you're coming from this location. And there's the Pitillal Cultural Center, right where that red dot is. That is where it is located. So it is very easy, easy to access. So needless to say, we will be planning a walking tour of this facility at some point in the near future so that we can learn more about what is being offered there, what we can participate in, and and um, and that is really, really good news. The last bit of news that I have for you has absolutely nothing to do with Puerto Vallarta, but it so moved me. Let me put it up on the screen. I was quite taken by this news of about Jennifer Rocha, a young lady from Mexico studying in the United States. Upon graduation, she decided to pose for her graduation photos in the fields where her migrant parents work to make it all possible for her and her sisters to succeed with their goals, with their lives. And in one of the photos, she appears, this photo that we're looking at, she appears to be giving her parents a diploma that says, Gracias a mis padres, soy chingona y con diploma, which means, thanks to my parents, I'm chingona and with a diploma. In this case, needless to say, chingona means awesome, fully capable, and I am so glad that this bit of news has gone viral. And how fucking wonderful is that? I mean, that just made me so very happy, and I hope it makes you happy. Let me now see your comments just to see what's been going on. Let's take a quick look and go back. Lots of good mornings as always. Mark is always smiling from Minnesota. Dan, I miss you, Dan. I miss you and Kathy. Please come back immediately. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Lisa says, it's Walking Wednesday. Well, it's not Walking Wednesday. I'm really sorry, but we will have a walk by the end of the week. And I appreciate how kind you guys are when I fail to deliver. Let's see. At a hospital, says Sherry, for mammogram and bone density. Oh, that's wonderful that you're taking care of yourself. Everybody should take care of themselves. Trucha says, I'm listening to reason. God bless. We've talked about the weird planter. Yes. Albert says, okay, the sandals are off. Yes, enjoy your feet in the sand. If you're in the sand, enjoy your feet on whatever surface you happen to be standing on, as long as it's comfortable. What else do we have? Oh, ouch. Carol says it's going to be 108 Fahrenheit in Spokane for the next few days. I saw an article on on heat waves and global warming from Vox. I almost brought it up in today's headlines because it's one of those explainer articles about why it's gotten so hot and how it is related to global warming. So if you're curious about this, Carol, it's on Vox, vox.com, VOX. Let's see. Sorry to hear your keyboard drowned. I figured you could name your old keyboard the Titanic. Iced coffee, dead ahead. Maybe. I love it. Christy says, ouch. And I'm not sure what that is about, but I'm going to put it on the screen just because ouch is cute. Uh, Thank you for that, Karen. You know, it's so easy to get worked up about situations that are not in under our control. I simply turn around and leave. Um, oh, how wonderful to be in Punta Negra. Thank you very much for joining us, Luis. Um, uh, Natalie spent a relaxing day at the botanical gardens yesterday. Decided to take the bus back instead of a taxi. I was surprised to see how many people were on the bus without masks. I mean, not even on their chin or below their nose. I could not be surprised if there is a spike in the numbers. I will hesitate again to take a bus. I don't blame you, Natalie. Again, I haven't been on a bus myself. Now that I'm getting ready to get my second shot, I think about the not the local buses. I'm still going on by taxi or walking everywhere, but I think about my possible trips to Guadalajara, and I think, am I ready to go on a bus for 5 hours? And the answer is, I'm not sure. I'm sorry this happened to you, but again, it's bound to happen if it's going to make you, and I don't mean you specifically, Natalie, anyone, if it's going to make you uncomfortable to go on a bus knowing that there's a possibility that people will be wearing masks while others may not, and this makes you uneasy, well, that is a perfect sign that you should not be hopping on that bus. Uh, we went last weekend. I didn't like Sayulita anymore. Way overpriced and super packed. Okay, I'm gonna throw my 2 cents about Sayulita. I used to love Sayulita. I used to love Sayulita when it was a smaller village, and somehow, at somewhere along the lines, it became chic. And I'm not saying that it has entirely lost its essence as a surfer town, as a surfer destination, but the last few times that I've gone, Joey, I've had the same impression. Sayulita is overpriced and super packed, and not for me. That's what I'm gonna say. Not for me. Let's see. Brett comments on Mazatlan. Thank you so much for being our Mazatlan correspondent, Brett. About 25% have dropped masks on the buses here in Mazatlan too. Yes, you know, some people have to take the bus. They have no choice, and I feel sorry for them. I, for better or worse, have the privilege, knock on wood, to choose between the bus and a taxi, and I'm still going to choose a taxi. And I can only hope that people will take better care of themselves. But there's only so much we can do about that. James says, seems a bit harsh for smoking. Well, James, it's the law. It's the way it's done here. Would feel it would be harsh if I was a smoker, but it's the rules. It's the rules. They're not made up. They're not random. It's the way things are. And if that's the way things are, that's the way things are. Mexico is not the only country that has banned smokers from restaurants, I am sure. And if those are the rules, then you have to follow the rules. If you don't like the rules, you have to go somewhere else where the rules are better suited for you. And I don't mean you personally, I'm talking about anyone. Um, Glad to know the rules. It seems different every place. Well, for better or worse, Terry, and this is my own personal interpretation, I think a lot of businesses go around saying, the chances that they're going to come knocking on my door are so slim that I'm not going to give a shit about it. And then shit happens. And clearly shit happened at Sean's restaurant, and that is unfortunate. Um, I'm not for smoking, except for weed. Yeah, but not fair to Mama Kawama. Of course, it's not fair, particularly if it happened because of a client or a customer that decided to get stubborn about it. Um, I encountered a whole pack of visiting Canadians who completely disregarded the mask protocol. I hope you turned around and walked away, Catherine. Let's see what else. Uh, I remember when smoking was allowed on the airlines. I totally remember that too, and I was just watching this. I've been watching this television series on on astronauts called For All Mankind on HBO, and it's dated back in the 70s, and everybody smokes cigarettes everywhere. It's crazy. Those were different times. Different times. Uh, love when he swears. Who's swearing? Nobody should use foul language around here. It sounds like shit. Let's see. Having to da 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 da. Being highly allergic to cigar smoke and having to leave in the middle of a meal more than once or twice. I'm so grateful for this new law. I hear you, Heather. I'm not allergic, but you know, Pacos dos pesos. Yes, my 2 cents. They're always attached to the broadcast. I try not to be very opinionated here, but you know, let's see what else. Dale, who originally brought up the mama situation, thanks us for updating on the suspension. Of course, I wanted to check in with Sean because he's a friend. He's been really sweet here in our community. Um, best to ask the restaurants where smoking is permitted. They are happy to give the info. Yes, I think that's a perfectly legitimate way to go. You just get to a restaurant and you say, I know that smoking is not allowed. Do you happen to have a separate smoking section? The restaurant may say yes, the restaurant may say no. Uh, Restaurants really need to post no smoking signs, especially in areas like terraces. Tourists don't always know the rules. Well, the fact of the matter, Brett, is that restaurants and other businesses are expected by law to provide proper signage. I don't know the specifics about this because I'm not a restaurant owner, but it's part of the package. The way you have to comply to be open legally as a restaurant. You have to have certain types of signage and emergency exit indications and plumbing parameters and all kinds of particular things that we as customers just don't even think about. And it is complicated to open a restaurant because of all these guidelines and rules. So it is expected to do that. Christy says, so cool about folkloric dancers. Isn't it so? I think it's so amazing. Um, Terry was just saying that no smoking is the one rule that people widely ignore in Puerto Vallarta. Don't get me started. Uh, as a Canadian, I apologize for their ignorance. Sad that this happens. Um, okay. I don't know that I would feel comfortable apologizing for all kinds of people that come from my country that I don't even know, because that's way out of my control. I would never claim to represent Mexicans or all of Mexico. Um, I I just make sure that I am the best person I can be, and because that is something I can be responsible for. Um, uh, let's see. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, James. The photos, just Google Jennifer Rocha. The photos are so amazing of her, plucking peppers from the fields that her parents take care of and posing with her sisters. I mean, it makes me all. It's a good feel good story. Absolutely. Um, I was so happy to see it on several major news stations. That's wonderful, Karen, because it brings to light the humanity of this whole issue, which is very complex. This whole issue of migrants going to the United States. I mean, it's a complicated issue, but I was so very happy to see this brought up to light. Thank you very much for your comment. Uh, oh, Matthew's a fan of soggy chilaquiles. We need to get into a chilaquile-thon or something because for me it's a sore subject. I never ask for chilaquiles out because I like them soggy, and most people serve them crunchy. So I'm gonna talk to. I have a meeting with a dear friend who's a Mexican chef tomorrow, and I'm going to ask for this particular person's take on chilaquiles. And I wonder if Michael Buford, who's another a chef expert. I wonder, Michael, if you're watching, please let us know what is your take on good chilaquiles. You have a Mexican restaurant. Please, please, please. We want to know. We want to talk about this. Um, What else? What else? What else? Better than Wednesday sex, is that from a dicho mexicano? Oh, hell no. This is copyrighted by yours truly, James. Every time I sneeze, every time I cough, I feel better than having had sex. And that should give you a hint as to how much sex I'm having lately. Let's see. Are you guys arguing about the cigarette smokers? Please don't argue. So just how much rain arrived? Well, not that much here in Puerto Vallarta, but apparently it's raining heaps and dogs and all kinds of rain and poo poo in other places. Let's see. Sayulita is very unfriendly for the wheelchair. Absolutely. Uh, Sayulita changed when Bachelorette was filmed there. Very probably. Uh, Sayulita has been Californiaized, among other things. Uh, what do you think of San Pancho? I was underwhelmed. I think it depends on what you're looking for. What I personally like about San Pancho is that it is a community that has for a long time, been committed to being as earth friendly and environment friendly as possible. What I like about San Pancho is that, contrary to other smaller communities around Puerto Vallarta, the foreign community and local community work very well together through their cultural centers. And for me, it's not a happening town, and that's what makes it special. I think of going to San Pancho when I just want to relax and chill and rest. So I don't know what you were expecting to find. That's what I've liked about San Pancho, and also San Pancho has a lot of cultural events. They have well, not during the pandemic, but they've had great music festivals, great theater festivals, and it's a good place, at least for me. Um, let's see, what else. In California, it's unusual to see people smoking even outdoors, but this is not California, and I think I know that you don't mean it. See, when we start comparing what happens in other countries or what happens in other cities that should or should not be happening here, that's, I think, where we're bound to get into entitlement problems, because we can't compare one country with another, or one country's guidelines and ordinances with another's. I mean, it's different places, different ground rules, and it is what it is. Um, Lots of comments from you guys today. I love it. We're almost done. We're almost done. I remember where you could smoke in elevators. Oh, ew, nasty. Uh, Californiaized is offensive characterization based on generalizations, just like saying Mexico time. James, you're absolutely right. And I thank you so much for bringing that up to our attention. You are absolutely right, and I should have clicked on the spot when I read it. Thank you very much for that. It is just as offensive as saying that people are running on Mexican time. Thank you very much. See how easily we can just drop words that come out of our mouths and forget that they have a certain weight. Thank you. Uh, let's see what else. Oh, the word privilege. Yes, it is a complicated thing. Eric Robb votes yes to soggy chilaquiles. Oh my God, we should have a poll, but not today. We're gonna do a whole show on chilaquiles because, um, and Brett says chilaquiles are great both ways. Soggy chilaquiles are just decomposed enchiladas. In my case, yes, because essentially what I do is I take all the same goddamn ingredients and I just mush them together, and I don't care if they look like ugh, but the taste is wonderful. And when you make them with cannabis oil, oh, don't get me started. That's what happens on weekends when I have nowhere to go. But you need to know that. um, Let's see. Oh, there you go. Michael says crispy with tons of onions, oregano, and fresh cheese and cream. Better with 2 fried eggs on top. See, I respect that, but for me, once you say crispy, it's like, mm-mm, nope, not for me. So I will continue to stand by my soggy chilaquiles, but I will go and try your crispy chilaquiles just for comparison, Michael. Absolutely. Um, all about the salsas, Paco. A great salsa makes everything great. Oh, we know that. We know that. Absolutely. And I think we are ready. We are pretty much at the end. With the increase of dog owners in Zona Romantica, the sidewalks are being filled with dog dirt. That owners don't pick up. Is there a law in the works to deter? Is that a word? I don't know that word. To deter this mess with a capital M. Joey, I don't know. Thank you for the question. I don't know if there's a specific law about cleaning after your dog. There should be. If there isn't, and if there is, somebody will probably um, um, probably I don't know. We'll look into that and we'll find out. Oh no! Oh no! See, this is. I tell you, Heather doesn't like soggy chilaquiles. Well, Heather, you're not getting invited to my birthday party because all we're gonna have is soggy chilaquiles. No, I am just kidding. Okay, we're done. We're done. At the end of the broadcast. So yesterday I hit the exit button and I gave you my stupid grin, like, have a good day. And nothing happened. And that's because the day I spilled coffee on me, somehow I managed to delete my outro, my outro video. So watch me leave in dignity today. But first, as always, I remind you that if you enjoyed yourself, if you found something useful, helpful, funny, humorous here, keep in mind that we are possible thanks to your own contributions, whether you are a supporting member, which we love, or you are an occasional coffee buyer, which we love, or you are a combination of both. Please keep us in mind. And that's it. Have a great day. Don't go swimming in Sayulita, and I will talk to you soon. And watch how the outro unfolds as it should. Bam!